Hi, Virgo. All right, so we're going to go super intuitive because we've got happy birthday. Okay, we've got birthday, we've got vernal equinox on the 22nd. Yeah, right around there. And we've got this eclipse coming up. So I was like, okay, we've got to do September's video, but we kind of need to talk about the eclipse more. Is kind of how I'm figuring. So it's like, it's a little bit more mid-month than I like to go, but I feel like since we're going from on the 21st, we're going from an eclipse and then into the 22nd of September or the 21st, whatever it ends up being for the equinox. So it's a lot, right? So I just thought, let's do Virgo first and let's do it really intuitive. Because I know we're into the charts and the planets and all that, and I'll do all that. We'll go more into that in the extended, but I really just want to do a very intuitive birthday, like, because I can, like, feel how much good stuff is coming up for you guys. And I want you to have, like, kind of an unfiltered look at it. A lot of people ask me why I wear sweaters in the summer. I don't know. My skin is very sensitive. I don't like to have it exposed, but it's like paper thin. It's not really like... I don't know though. I can't give you an answer. So let's see. Virgo, how's it been? Do you feel like people are playing you? Do you feel like you got played? Or do you feel like you're just like so focused that it doesn't matter? I feel like you're falling into definitely two camps right now. Like either you feel very confused, like what just happened? Wait, what? Or you're like, I don't even know what I don't know what happened and I don't care. Either way, you don't know what happened. Yeah, that's the way to put it. I feel like either way you don't know what happened, but it's either that you don't care because you're so busy that you're like, wait, what happened? Or you're so invested in whatever happened that you're like, oh my God, what happened? Let's see. Let's see how it plays out. I feel like the cards want me to like charm them or something. And I'm like, no, I want you to tell me. Queen of Wands is the first card out. So, fire energy. We have this Leo eclipse, okay? It's a lot. It's your 12th house. We talked about this last month. And since it's still last month, even though it is September's reading, we're still in August. I'm doing this in August. Eclipse. Big deal. Wheel of Fortune. Not lost on me that that wheel looks like the sun. Queen of Wands and Wheel of Fortune together. If you have a powerful fire sign in your life that's trying to push you in a certain direction that may seem scary or risky to you, I suggest you follow whatever they're telling you. This could very easily be something financial. Wheel of Fortune is generally a card that has to do with like reversal of fortune or, you know. So if you have a strong fire sign energy, if you have a strong maternal figure, Queen of Wands is often a card of the mother for me, then I would suggest that you heed their advice, albeit, you know, not easy to take. Probably the Queen of Wands is someone who requires quite a lot of patience. They want what they want, but sometimes their delivery is so off, especially when dealing with Virgos, that even though a Virgo and a fire sign may want exactly the same thing, they cannot get on the same page about communicating that to each other without offending each other. What to Virgo seems like a subtlety, just a play on you know, elements, to a fire sign will come off as evasive. and vague. What to a fire sign will seem like direct conversation. Queen of Swords in reverse will come off as really offensive, too brash, too bold, taking too many liberties. This is definitely still Mercury retrograde energy. You've got an eclipse during a retrograde, and then we go into an equinox, and almost all of it is right around your sign. Like, it's either 12th house or in your sign. And then later in September, you have Mars and Venus meeting in your sign, and Mars hasn't been in your sign for like 2 years. So whatever you were like trying to muster up the courage to do 2 years ago, you're going to get the opportunity to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with like asking someone to marry you, starting a new business, having a baby. There's something, it's like a major thing for you. It's whatever. Y'all just played me like that and let me just have my hair like that. Every Virgo watching this video has been like, is she gonna fix her hair? It's a time for you guys to look around and be like, you know what, that thing that I really wanted to do, I should have done it, and I feel like the same energies right now, and I feel like I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. It's bold. Mm-hmm. But this fire sign energy, although their way of getting back to the cards here, although that energy may come across as this Queen of Swords in reverse, and you may be much more in a playful place where you don't really want to deal with that kind of really dominant, right, energy, and you're more here. Sure, you're vacillating, but I think in a way people misunderstand the vacillating of a Virgo. Yes, when you're dealing with people and their hearts, can it be really painful for someone to vacillate? Of course. But I think what's important to keep in your awareness, to be aware of, is that there is a certain element of playfulness. There is a certain element of almost childlike innocence, purity, a Virgo, a virgin, right? Someone who still in many ways views the world as a child because they have not taken that step that would ultimately turn them into an adult, right? They are not, for whatever reason, they are not taking that step. That person is playful by nature, and sometimes maybe too playful, maybe too attractive, maybe too easy to fall in love with, and then you've got to like kind of backpedal and go, I'm sorry, I literally didn't mean to be that charming. Like, I was not trying to get you to fall in love with me. I was just hanging out with you, so this doesn't necessarily always have to be a negative thing. This could really just one of the explanations, one of the traditional explanations for this card is just someone who is having fun with money, doing interesting, risky things with money. So that's why I'm saying, if this fire sign Queen of Wands energy in your life, if she or he is in some way pushing a financial idea on you that would be like really big. I'm sorry, my eye is bothering me. I keep doing that. That would be like really, really big. Although you may really not dig the delivery of how this is coming across, still give it until after the retrograde, because I think this Wheel of Fortune card is super powerful sitting here in the middle. Let's get some more cards on the table, and then I'll show you all together. So the other thing happening here with the Queen of Swords in reverse, and not a lot of cards come up in reverse for you guys. So because it's rare, it's worth looking at, it's worth mentioning, it's worth like exploring a little. You may find that some air signs are very hurtful to you. You may find that air sign energy in general is pretty painful right now for you to be around, because when you've got so much activity in your sign, when you've got so much attention, magnetism, good luck, money flowing to you, all this good stuff, one of the things that also comes out is jealousy, but also envy, but also it triggers people's vanity, right? So I think Virgos are one of those signs that people quietly wish would fail. You know, I think a Virgo's perfection is the kind of perfection that makes people want them to fall on their face. I do. Like, I sincerely believe that there's a lot of people out there who would love to see Beyonce make a huge mistake. I mean, she's not going to, but... Okay, so this card, it keeps coming up. And I think it's because you're still trying to figure out your financial identity. For a lot of you guys, it is about... One second. That was so beyond annoying. I apologize. So for a lot of you guys, this period of activity coming up really is still about figuring out your financial place. And this also has to do with Mars coming into your sign. Maybe 2 years ago, you were more here. And now 2 years has given you whatever perspective, you've had a relationship, you've had whatever you needed to break through to a place where perhaps we can now switch roles to the other side. Okay, so still coming up, like, mainly so far about money, which is funny because in terms of astrology and in terms of the planets and stuff, there's supposed to be a lot of focus on your love life. There's supposed to be an uncomfortable amount of light being shed because of the full moon in your house of relationships. I don't see that here. I see money being a huge factor in your relationships. I see you making decisions based on finances more than you would probably like to admit. If this Queen of Swords and this Queen of Wands are two different people that you are trying to choose between, finances have become much more important than you thought they'd be. And you're kind of waiting for some sort of tiebreaker, some sort of, let me show you. Why am I sitting here looking at them and you can't see them? I just put them here because I've been like kind of cleansing my hands between readings. Yours is the first reading, but I feel like it creates like a good vibe around the cards as well, so why keep it off camera? So money is playing a lot into this decision right now, if we're talking in terms of finance, and especially if we're talking Virgo rising. It's like money and relationships are all tied up right now. It's like the full moon makes you look at like why you really want to like somebody. What is it that's making you really like people? What is it that's making you really want to be with somebody? Who's offering you the chance? Somehow there's a chance being offered to you to change situations here, and you're weighing it. I would rather interpret this as a business thing, but if it is a love thing, I wouldn't be surprised that a Virgo is weighing love options and also being practical at the same time. That doesn't surprise me. But it's kind of funny, right? Because I think you're kidding yourself if that's what's going on. I feel like both of these people are, in a sense, way too dominant for your, like, genteel nature, right? And yet they somehow hold the key to your financial success, but also your emotional well-being, your sense of peace, if you will. All right. So Four of Swords, so annoying. There's going to be some days in September where you're going to feel like this. And it's going to be more than one set of days, okay? So at the beginning of the month, you guys, the beginning of the month, this is where we're at. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh even. Sixth. just here. Just remember that I said it when you start to get upset and you're like, oh, nothing's getting done. I'm running around in circles. What the hell? Like, no, everybody's being stupid. Yeah, this is what's going on. Or this is what needs to be going on. You really just need to revert. Just go hide. Do your job and go hide. Go, like, watch reruns of Lost. You know? Just go do something. Because nothing is going to work for the beginning of the month. And then there's going to be a couple of days mid-month, like around the 13th, where you're going to get really annoyed again. And anyone who comes near you is really going to get it from you, and you don't even know why. And the reason is that you are having to do a lot of internal work this month, and it's irritating for you guys. Like, you get in a bad mood when you find something, when your brain comes up with something about you that you don't really like and want to face, but you're in one of those zones and you have the kind of energy where you can face it. Man, you guys get in a bad mood. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, when you're introspective about yourself, your own insight can irritate you, if that makes sense. And that's what I feel is going to happen to you guys a lot this month, because there are these pockets of introspection where you really have to slow down, be away from people, not, play the game, but also have time within yourself to vacillate if you choose to have time to play this game within yourself. We're so good at blaming Virgo for playing the game and never realizing, like I said, about the playful nature, that perhaps they need to play the game. Perhaps playing the game is part of the fun. And part of playing the game right now, Virgo, is not having to explain it to anyone, or not having to in any way make excuses for how you do it or why you do what you do. Right? Being able to kind of do this in peace. Now, ultimately, what comes of staying quiet and having this kind of energy, I think this is all, to me, it looks like the same thing. It's all about patience. And yeah, I know we're always talking about patience with you guys, because you guys can have such a nasty temper and like be so impatient when you want to be, but then at the same time, capable of enormous amounts of patience, right? So it's like, the way I always say it is, you are capable of doing it, you just don't want to do it, right? So when you start to feel that, I don't want to be patient, I want what I want right now, I'm telling you right now, that's Mercury actually starting to go direct. So the first couple of days of September are going to suck in terms of like getting anything done. But then mid-month, you're going to feel like this again, but it's going to be more mental. Like, it's not going to feel like a sluggish, like tired, like something pulling you back. It's just going to be like, you're going to look at people who are trying to talk to you and be like, why is this person so stupid? Like, just, and then the other thing is this Queen of Swords in reverse that we have to be really careful with. You have to remember, like I said, that after 2 years, you have Mars coming into your sign. Okay, so you know how you guys can be when you like know something for sure? You know how you guys can be? Getting such deja vu. Like, we had this conversation last September, y'all. By the way, y'all, the first video I ever made last September, it'll be a year now, mashallah, with this video. The first video I ever made was for Virgos. And here we are, September, 1 year later, 75,000 subscribers, and another Virgo video where I am telling you to be careful with your words. Oh my, how things have changed. No, but I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for all of your love and your steady loyalty. And I know it's been a bumpy road here and there, but I'm so glad that I'm taking it with you, because I've learned so much. I've learned so much about myself by learning about you. My moon aspect is perhaps something that I never wanted to explore. My femininity isn't something that I was necessarily all the way in touch with. And having to get to know you guys better, I've had to get to know my femininity better, because the Virgo is, the Virgo is feminine, and because it is my moon, it is how I express my femininity, so it's very feminine, and that's not necessarily how I, androgynous Gemini, choose to roll. It is very vulnerable, it is very beautiful, it is essentially emotionally perfect. and yet terrifying in its perfection and in its loyalty. A Virgo can be almost suffocatingly perfect and yet terrifying to lose. Right? So thank you thus far for taking this journey with me and trusting me. I hope I have not steered you wrong. I don't think I have. But let's get back to it. So, Seven of Pentacles. More money, you guys. More money. People often ask, oh, is this a money reading? Is it a love reading? Listen, I'm just reading it how I'm reading it. I don't know what kind of reading it is. It is what it is. I don't plan it out. I have no idea what's going to come up. I have no idea what I'm going to say. So, Seven of Pentacles, more money. Good. From 6 to 7. Fantastic. What did we say? We said you're going to change roles. So how do we go from here to here? We have our own stuff. If you have a business, Virgo, that you're thinking of starting, please start it. Even if it's just like you and like a YouTube channel, or like you and like, you know, that company that makes like corporations overnight. Whatever, just do it. Just do it because it will be profitable for you. You will be able to make and sustain yourself off of it for a good like decade, at least 6-7 years to come. Just go for it. I know you guys don't like to start until it's perfect, but I feel like this time at the beginning of the month, the end of the retrograde, you really have a chance to chill out, give yourself some space, and really think about, like, seriously, if you want to do this thing. And if you seriously want to do this thing, get to work, because it's really going to be profitable. There's a lot of money around you. There's a lot of luck around you. You know? A lot of magnetism. Page of Swords. If you think that air sign is going to leave you alone, you're out of your mind. Because they're like, nah, but we belong together. And then the Seven of Wands. So, what does it all mean? Bottom of the deck, Page of Pentacles. So, Page of Swords, that air sign energy that right now is really hurting you, and just you can't even figure out why they're doing it. You're just like, there is no logical explanation for why you were behaving like this. That calms down towards the end of the month as you take a backseat to everything and kind of reassess, because you're just feeling good and work is becoming satisfying, and you're starting to feel, that like enormous sense of freedoms that Virgos love, and they feel it around their birthdays. You're really starting to just kind of, like, solitude is not a bad thing for you, right? So kind of centrally the solitude is placed. And then as that, and in the I Ching it says that there is a certain power that emanates from he or she who sits happily in solitude, right? The kind of power that emanates from that person is very subtle, but it is unmistakable, and everyone around them can feel it. Because what that person has done is that they've chosen to really relish their own company and find not just, to be alone. To be alone is not productive. And Virgo, I don't need to tell you guys this. I'm preaching to the choir, but, I'm sure you guys tell this to other people all the time. Being alone is pretty destructive, because it means that you're just kind of waiting for someone to be there and you feel like half of a something. But to be in solitude is completely different, because it's a chosen form of being by yourself, which is very different from being alone. But like I said, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys already know that. So this time of solitude for you, this Six of Swords, this Four of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, this cocooning and recreating, and then the Seven of Pentacles is such a good sign, because it means that slowly, this Wheel of Fortune energy is kind of trickling down into the month and making some good things happen financially. And I feel like it's well-deserved. I feel like, yeah, you guys can slack here and there and be a little, about things, but at the same time, you're great and hard workers and dependable. So it can be a mixed bag with Virgos as employees, or as Virgos as a boss even. But that the work, once it comes down to it, when they do it, will be impeccable. And right now, I kind of need you to focus on that energy, not in your personal life. Don't try to strive for that perfection, but instead, really channel that energy into making some good money. Now, in terms of love, this Page of Swords energy, the Queen of Swords that, like, right now is just being so painful. That's the only way I can really like what I feel about it, and is really pushing you into this solitude, is actually doing you a huge favor, because that's how you get here, you know. And financially, you will have these moments in the next couple of weeks where you feel like, you know, people didn't really think I could do it and I did it, right? So that energy slowly starts to transmute and become more gentle as you kind of pull away and exhibit your own gentility and your own vulnerability by being quiet. This Page of Swords energy then starts to once again exhibit the Six of Cups that you kind of felt from the beginning was happening, you know. Regardless of if this is two people you're trying to decide between, or if this is two aspects of the same person, whatever it is, it dwindles down into, it is cooked down or cooked back into this one option that you become pretty clear. The outcome card is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups, for the Six of Pentacles to become the Six of Cups is amazing. For there to be a full moon in your house of relationships and for this to be the outcome card is amazing. For the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands to come up together is, like, not together but in the same reading like this, is amazing. So you know when you guys are having a bad month, or you guys are being like this or like that, I'm the first one to tell you, like, listen, you know, like, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like this. I'm not saying that September is going to be easy. I'm saying, first of all, that September is going to be fun. So who cares if it's easy, right? You can do it. Two, I'm saying that September can be incredibly productive financially. So although there will be, towards the end of the month especially, this focus on relationships and kind of trying to repair something perhaps, or just repair your image of something perhaps, the rest of the time I really would focus, especially at the beginning of the month during your days of solitude, dude, focus on your money. Focus on whatever it is that you want to get done that you think will bring in some money, and just start doing some little stuff towards it in that direction. Because you've got some energy coming in, like, you've got so many things happening in your sign. You've got Venus, you've got Mars, you've got the sun. Like, there is a lot. There is a lot. So all that means is put it in the ground. Put it in the ground so you can, you know, reap the fruit. Right? Reap the harvest, whatever. My agrarian lingo is not up to scratch. All right, and the bottom of the deck is the Page of Pentacles. Going into your birthday season, the one thing that was kind of worrying me here is that this spread didn't actually represent you. Like, where's Virgo? Like, I see what's going on around Virgo, but where's Virgo? Where's Virgo hiding? And Virgo's like, yo, I'm right here. What's up? Like, I'm one step ahead of this whole thing. You know, because I'm in my zone and it's my season and I feel good and I feel magnetic and I feel with it. Like, I'm not even tripping off this, right? I'm not even tripping off this because I got mad opportunities and I got a really long road of work and money to walk. We'll talk about this in the extended because y'all do try to play yourselves when you get here. But that's okay. For now, for September, fantastic, fantastic energy. Okay? Keep that youthful, playful, don't make any real decisions right now. Don't commit to anything. Don't get too bogged down by anyone's anything. If someone is trying to take you into this space and be destructive with it, at the beginning of the month, be like, no, listen, I want to be by myself, but not like that. I want to be by myself and be happy and really think about things. You know, don't let people, during these days where you should be by yourself, don't let people pull you into a negative space because it'll be so easy. Right? It'll be so easy because you're already going to be annoyed. You're already going to be feeling the Mercury. Like, at the beginning of the month, the Mercury retrograde is going to be so annoying. Like, the first 3 or 4 days of September, you're just going to want to seriously strangle people or just stay in bed. So on those days, if someone is picking a fight with you, if someone is like, if you've got like a water sign around you who's moping around being depressed, don't pay that person any mind. Don't get into it with that person because you are already feeling this way and they will pull you from a productive place into a destructive place. If you've got a fire sign during that first few days that's pushing you in terms of work, let that person know, I get what you're saying, I understand, I feel like it's going to go really well, but you need to give me a few days. Give me until the 6th or the 7th to get myself together. Like, I'm just thinking things through, I'm going through a period of introspection. Like, let me do this in a way that I feel comfortable with. If this is someone who is pushing you in terms of love or pushing you in terms of wanting or demanding your attention, again, the way I think that you should handle it, whether you want to articulate it or not, that's up to you. I mean, who can make a Virgo do anything? But the Four of Swords energy is not something you have to explain. It's not something you have to apologize for. This is not something that you have to say to a partner or to someone who could be a potential partner. Listen, I just need some time to myself. This is something that's really obvious, that this person needs time to themselves. If you're around someone right now who won't give you, during the beginning of September, time to yourself and keeps encroaching on your space, you gotta be aware of that. You gotta look at that and be like, listen, you keep coming over my boundaries and stepping over my boundaries at key times where I really need my alone time, and I'm really not with it. So like, this is a period of kind of, I'm gonna be really crabby, but it's almost like setting up a trap, right? Like, I'm gonna be really crabby, and the only people that are gonna kind of walk into my trap are people who are super annoying and don't deserve to be in my life anyway right now. Like, can you hear it in my voice? Like, I'm hella Virgo right now. Like, I'm feeling it. I totally feel all the pulling on you as your magnetism starts to grow and grow and grow, and you start to feel more and more. I want to say like yourself, but what does that mean? The best version of yourself, perhaps? Your finances start to reflect it. Your pride starts to reflect it. Your ego starts to reflect it. Your relationships start to reflect it. You're more magnetic. More people are wanting to hang out with you and be around you. Of course, be careful with that. Of course, keep checking in several times a month with this energy. We'll go in on the extended on which days will be, like where you should just seriously not talk to anybody. But overall, for a birthday month, for a birthday reading, this is like super fantastic. Super fantastic. Of course, once we get past a certain point with you guys, the ones of you who have not started this journey by the end of the month, will you feel stuck? I mean, of course you will. That's just natural. But we'll talk about all of that in the other reading. Okay, Virgo, I'm so glad I did your reading first. This was so good. Oh, I'm glad you got a good birthday reading. Like, it's always good to have good news on your birthday, right? Like, so many coins, so much yellow, so much, like, life, love at the end of the month. Like, love. Amaze. I love it. All right, Virgos. So, all the info of where I'll be and what I'll be doing, it'll all be on the website. You can email me through the website as well, and someone will get back to you right away. You can book readings. I may not have any time left in New York or in San Francisco, but you can look on the website and you can see what's left. And the tickets for Oakland are selling out. So you might want to get on that if you're in the Bay Area for October. I love you guys. I will see you in the extended reading.